And welcome back. Now, with her love to piano instrument, this talented musician has painted Indonesia's musical scene with a POP-NUANCED, sing with a simple and sweet tone in her every songs. And we have with us today is pop singer Puti Chitara. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
So good to have you here.
Thank you so much.
So you have an album coming out, right? But before we get into that, and tell us a little bit about yourself. You are a piano, you play the piano, you're a pianist, and you also sing.
Yes, true.
And how long have you been doing this for?
Well, actually, I started playing piano since I was like 5, but it was classical. I didn't sing actually in the beginning, but when I entered my university, then I started to play and sing. And then people was like, "Oh, you should start playing piano and singing." So yeah, I think since then I started like writing my own songs and perform, singing while playing piano.
And now you're a full-time musician, I would say. And what's it like being a full-time musician for you, though? I mean, being in, this new modern era right now with so many other singers going up and also so many other music genres.
I think it's great because like, lots of people kind of underestimate, musicians in Indonesia, especially like, you don't earn something or like that. But because it's always been my passion, and then, well, it's not that, the progress is not that short. I started like many years ago, and finally I reached this level, and then it's good to, work with something that you're passionate with, and well, I don't really care about what's happening like people,
around.
and then there are lots of musicians and really great musicians, and well, if I keep on like, comparing myself into the others, and it will make myself stressed. So I just care about what my own music. So I just keep making good music and keep learning.
So why pop, though? From classical, you moved to pop, and why did you choose pop as a genre to sing solo?
Okay, so because my parents, since I was little, they keep on turning like really old pop music, such as Carpenters, Bread, and then Badfinger. Well, Beatles, also Bee Gees, and then I think I got that influence from them, and and then I start to develop this kind of, start to like more pop, but there's also part that I mix with the classical music, so there are lots of influence with the classical and old style pop.
So where do you get your inspiration from normally? Do you write your own songs?
Yes.
Okay, so where do you get your inspirations to write your own music songs?
Mostly from while I'm traveling. So I travel a lot and alone, but now not. But before I used to traveling alone a lot, and then from that, from traveling, I just look at the nature and the social happening around me. I think that's like the main influence that I have.
So far now, how's life like being a musician here? Is it hectic? Do you always, or is there a lot of locking yourself in a room to get inspiration, or going outside to get inspiration, or meeting friends, new musicians? What's it like?
It's really fun actually, because you got to meet a lot of people, a lot of musicians, but you're on the other side, like you have to you have to smile all the time, and like you have to entertain people, but I have to travel a lot and then take a lot of flights to go to other cities, and also have to keep on concentrate with writing good music. Actually the time management is like the most hard issue for me.
Time management.
The time management.
Normally you have an assistant to manage your time for your manager, to manage your time for you.
I do have, but he's in the other cities, so he's just like he's not involved in the.
Now, speaking about manager, you are a independent. You're in an independent record label, right? That means you don't sign with a big label. How is it like here, being an independent musician?
I think.
Is it hard?
It's actually hard because you have to you have to break the major industry, and then like where if you're in a label that you have lots of people helping you and support you, right? But like what I like being independent is because I have the freedom to do what I like.
All right.
So because I don't like people to control my music. That's like the most important thing, that I have that idealism. And then, well, maybe the negative side is that you have to work hard, like twice or 3 times harder to promote your music and to get into the industry.
But it says that you were under a major management before you got into independent music.
It was actually an independent label.
All right,
Yeah, it's called The Majors. But yeah, it's just for a year, and then I quit.
Is it hard right now for someone like you who is not in a major music? Like you mentioned, you have a lot of help if you're in a big label, right? But since you're alone, is it hard for you to actually strive in Indonesia, especially?
I think these days it's much easier because if I compare like 5 years ago when I first started, the social media was not that, like today, right? And everything is all internet based. And I think especially in Jakarta and big cities, like the line between major and independent music are like getting blurry. So people don't really care like whether you're from the major industry. It's just like if you're in a major, then you will perform a lot on TV. But independent musicians, they tend to get more off-air lives.
Okay.
And I think nowadays why I said it's much easier because like you have YouTube and SoundCloud,
right,
Instagram, everything is so easy to promote. You just have to, upload everything.
So there's a platform for you to actually put yourself out there, yeah, as opposed to back then. And what's the process like, though? You mentioned that you've gone quite a long way, you said, to get to where you are right now.
Right.
And it definitely wasn't an easy ride, of course, right? I'm sure with everybody. But what is the process like for you, from beginning all the way till the end, to get where you are?
I think it's quite a ride because first I was not planning to be a musician, so
What were you planning to be then?
I don't know. I went to Japan to study, but I studied comparative musicology. It's still it's a culture, sociology. But then there's a twist, and then I just flip, and I don't know why I decided to become a musician, and my parents were not that
happy
before, right? And then yeah, I had to fight alone that time. But well, as long as you work hard and you believe in your dreams, and then I got into a band now. It's called Barasuara.
Yes,
and then actually it helps a lot with my solo career. So
how is that helping a lot with your solo career? Since you,
I think because
it's 2 different markets, or is it different?
I think it's because 2 different kind of music. And like Barasuara, we have like 6 members. I think more members will help a lot with the promotion. And I think my music is very, well, most people said it's very segmented. So it's not a common consumption for people.
Everybody,
especially in English. And then nowadays in Indonesia, people love like this beautiful poetic Indonesian songs. But yeah, since I have to thank Barasuara also because they kind of help with my promotion also, and all the members are very supportive, and all of them are like helping a lot with the music.
All right, now Puti, we're going to go for a short break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking about your album just recently came out. It's called Goodnight, right?
Goodnight.
And also we're going to continue talking about Barasuara as well, a little bit about that. Don't go anywhere.
Got lost in confusion, surrounded by puzzles, but you're there, my savior, appears in so magically. In the middle of the heat, you have made my heart.
welcome back. You're still with me and Puti, our guest today. And just now, before the break, you actually mentioned about how Baraswara helped you make a promotion and a name for yourself as well. But also how you guys were actually from different, different kind of genres, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that, though? You are from pop, and in Baraswara, you were singing something else.
Yes. So in Baraswara, we're actually playing alternative rock. More experimental rock, but it's basically rock.
And you,
very
during the break, you actually told me that there was a lot of screaming,
right,
as opposed to what you were doing, in your album or in your solo career. And is it hard though to actually shift, or do you find a lot of fun in being in two different genres?
I think being in Baraswara is a lot of fun because you actually you can release yourself. I don't really care,
yourself,
right? But in my solo project, it's very, very silent, and every details are, you can hear it. So I have to really concentrate on playing and singing. But in Baraswara, because it's rock and the music is so loud, so you're just like having fun.
Having fun. But has that affected your, let's say, album making though for your second album? Because if I'm not mistaken, it took you 2 years to actually make a new album since your first one, right? And was it because you were more active in Baraswara then, or was it because you were taking time to just, take your time to make music, to come up with a new album?
Yeah, actually, I did plan that I want to release another album in the next 2 years after that. So, but the process was kind of slow because the Baraswara schedule was really tight. But yeah, I managed to finish it on time, my album. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Has that affected any, your way of writing the music, being more active in Baraswara?
It affected me a lot because I think more the progress, the producing. Because when I joined Baraswara, everyone was very detailed in the production. In my first album, I did everything alone. Okay. So I didn't really know like how to produce nice, great sounds and like detailed stuff like. The arrangement, the composing, but since I joined Baraswara, I see everybody is very into details. Simple stuff like what kind of microphones you're using and then what kind of sound.
And that plays a big role as well, in music making.
Yeah, so I think that helps in my second album because I realized that I need to learn a lot. And then and then everybody also helps with the second album.
Okay, now we get to your second album, Good Night. Now tell us a bit about that though, that album. It's just recently out, yeah? Yep. Released, when was it, November?
In November.
Okay.
So it was released digitally last year, I think the end of November. Good Night album, it has 8 English songs. And it's very different from my first album because this one is completely gloomy, dark. That's what people say. But and then my first album was actually very fun, upbeat, and I think that's many people. Those who listen to my first album kind of surprised when I released the second. Like, why your music is so different. Yeah. But I think that's how music, the process of making music. Like, I think if you produce second or third album, it should be different, personally, I think. Because if you keep on producing the same stuff, it's, very boring.
But it's the same.
But on the negative side, some people would like it. The one who likes in the first album, they don't really like the second one, but I don't really care.
But for you personally, which one was more you? Would you say it's easier for you to make the first or the second? First being happy and second being more, darker and maybe more mellow.
I think the second one represents me now. But I think if you ask me that on my first album 2 years ago, I think I will answer the same because because that time when I produced that album. I was mostly influenced by the time when I was in high school or in my university life. It was like, fun and stuff. But now, like when it gets older, and then a lot of things happen, and I think the second one is more personal and more intimate. It really, you know, like I express a lot of my personal feelings in the second one.
So this album, there are no Indonesian songs. They're all just English. Now, why pick all English? You know, not mixed with Indonesians. Yeah.
I think because I feel more comfortable writing in English, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to write in Indonesian. Like that's one of my goals, that I want to write in Indonesian, because I think writing in Bahasa Indonesia is very, very hard for me. Because I was born in Malaysia, I was raised there for 13 years, and I don't really speak Bahasa Indonesia at the time.
You're like me. You're lost.
And then I studied junior high and high school, and I moved to Japan for 4 years. So I'm kind of like confused with my own language.
So English is still the most comfortable language for you. And in terms of producing this album, though, how long did it take?
It took 1 year for the like the music producing, but for the songwriting, I think I start like right after I released my first album, so it's been 2 years.
And is there any collaboration with any other musicians in this album, though?
Yes, and the last song in the album is called "Goodnight." Also,
Okay.
I collaborate with Gerald Situmorang.
Okay.
He's one of Barasora's member. He's a jazz player. And he also
So it's a jazzy pop kind of music?
It's not.
No,
It's
so it's
very,
just fully
it's
pop.
very pop. But yeah, that's the only song that I sing with a guitar.
And you mentioned about how you were on social media a lot, as in promoting yourself there. And what, do you have a YouTube channel, or where do you normally go to?
I normally promote on Instagram, because I think these days people, Instagram is very useful. You can upload videos for 1 minute, and then it's very easy to access and doesn't, you know, consume a lot of quota.
And any plans for you? Any upcoming projects, you think? Maybe, you know, coming up with a new genre perhaps, or we're going to be seeing you somewhere else?
Actually, I'm gonna have a album launch concert.
Okay.
This Friday, on 24th. It's I'm launching my physical
In Central
CD.
Jakarta, yeah?
Yep,
Uh-huh.
Central Jakarta.
And what are you launching there?
My physical album. So in November is
digital
right?
release.
And now it's a physical CD.
All
release.
right, Puti. Well, all the best for you. Thank you so much for joining us. And we hope to see more of you and more of your songs.